Major WWE plans leaked. Also, controversy surrounding a top WWE executive and a major return. All right, guys, welcome back to the Ango show. We got to talk about The Rock. Man, this has become so tiresome. But then, WWE is putting things on TV that maybe we're not even paying attention to. And that's exactly what is coming from WrestleVotes. Basically, on the recent edition of the Backstage Pass Q&A, WrestleVotes reported that WWE does have plans for The Rock. The expectation is The Rock will be at Raw on Netflix. And he says very specifically, if you watch Raw and you go back and watch it or whatever, Adam Pearce backstage is talking about making Seth Rollins and CM Punk for Netflix. The whole segment is about Netflix, and right over his shoulder is a semi-truck with a big picture of The Rock. They don't do that type of thing by accident. They never do, and they're not going to start. And that's what I'll say about that. There was a purpose for that, and as far as I know, he is expected to be there. Whether that says he's working WrestleMania or not, that's a different ballgame. But I do know on January 6th, there are people within the WWE that expect The Rock to be there. Now, like I said, it's tiresome because there's always reports about The Rock being involved, not being involved, and it's a very complicated issue. And I do agree that if anybody's going to know what is happening with The Rock, it's going to be The Rock, Brian Gerwitz, Triple H, Nick Khan, right? Like, I think those four people will be the ultimate ones who know everything that is happening with The Rock. But after just seeing how explosive and how exciting it was at WrestleMania 40, it really does become tiresome that, again, there are rumors that The Rock may not be involved with WWE for WrestleMania 41. And I really just want to say, like, I genuinely enjoy the storyline with the Bloodline versus Bloodline. I'm enjoying what they're doing with Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu and the character development of all these guys. And, The Rock is a big part of it, but we still haven't even got to that part of the storyline where The Rock has technically been revealed as the final boss for that new Bloodline. So WWE has to get to that point. I do think with the Tribal Chief versus Tribal Chief Tribal Combat match on Netflix, I think The Rock would be appearing there and it would make a lot of sense. However, I think WWE's in a very interesting spot. The Rock is making a shit ton of money with the WWE. He's part of the board. I mean, this guy is obviously very, very busy outside of the wrestling aspect. But he's come into the WWE and he's making all this money. Surely you would think WWE would apply a little bit more pressure to have him involved. And I think The Rock has been a little bit outspoken saying, hey, don't listen to the dirt sheets. When it came to the reports that he wouldn't be at WrestleMania, he's saying, don't listen to this stuff. But then also at the same time, too, there's just so much going out that says he's not going to be involved. WWE has kind of stopped doing those backstage segments where like those teases are still there, those little Easter eggs. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's something to pay attention to because maybe it's been in plain sight the entire time. All right, let's switch gears. Let's talk about Lee Fitting. He joined the WWE in January of 2024. He left ESPN because he was let go by ESPN, and there was a lot of controversy surrounding that, and it's being brought up today because he is the guy that completely changed WWE's production aspect, and he has done a really good job. But at the same time, too, there is this problem where people think despite all the good work they do, they are not immune to criticism or whatever it may be. Listen, there's a report that came out from The Athletic. It basically detailed a whole bunch of accusations against Lee Fitting. It included objectifying women, making crude remarks about their appearance, creating a toxic environment for female staffers. There was incidents listed from 2012 that really suggested some, inappropriate comments. There's other instances where he allegedly texted female colleagues multiple times with, different requests. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you guys could read on the article from The Athletic, but WWE has remained silent on this. WWE has refused to comment. They have not issued a comment. To Lee Fitting's perspective, through a spokesperson, they have denied several of the allegations, but they have declined to address anything or comment even on the dismissal from ESPN. This is one of those situations where I think oftentimes people are going to stray away from talking about it. But as you guys know, whether it's the Vince McMahon situation or really whatever it is, these things impact the wrestling business. And Lee Fitting has done a great job in the WWE, and there's no denying that. But I feel like there is an issue in corporate America, and it's not just WWE. This is a very, very, very broad statement. It's not just the WWE, but there is this thing where, like, you can have a lot of power, you can have a lot of fame or a lot of money, and you could get away with things, or things get swept under the rug. And that's not something I necessarily agree with. And, you know, obviously WWE has not commented on this, but it's also important to mention that WWE is still dealing with the stuff from the Janelle Grant lawsuit, and they're still dealing with that. Vince McMahon is still dealing with that. You know, WWE is... It's very interesting that WWE made this hire. Did they not know about it beforehand? I mean, what was the situation prior? I don't know. But it is something that needs to be discussed, because realistically, it is something that is a very big story. And, you know, obviously allegations are allegations, and you have to wait to see how things play out. But this is one of those things where WWE is not talking about it, but WWE also talked about, you know, their commitment to addressing workplace culture issues, and they have their own legal issues. So you kind of have to wonder what WWE was thinking at the time of this. And that brings us to our final topic, ladies and gentlemen, CM Punk. What is the plan for CM Punk? We know he's going up against Seth Rollins at the Netflix stuff, the Netflix event for Raw, the debut. WrestleVotes basically came out and said, I've heard so many things on Punk, especially as of late with Roman Reigns stuff being thrown in there. But the one factor that I've heard almost all year is that WWE wants Punk to be involved in a world title match. Now, I don't know how the puzzle pieces are going to fit, but they want him at the top. And I don't think it'll be with Cody Rhodes, so that's one title match out the window. Does he fit into the other one? I'm going to say yes at this point. I don't think it'll be Gunther. I don't think it's Punk and Gunther. So if they want him involved with the title, then what do you do with Gunther? So obviously WWE has plans for Punk WrestleMania World Heavyweight Championship. I really love this tweet. I'm going to give credit to Andrew Baydala, because this actually falls in line a lot with something I have previously said. So Andrew Baydala tweeted, he goes, I've said this since August, Punk vs. Rollins World Heavyweight Championship, Cody vs. Cena Undisputed WWE Championship, and Rock vs. Roman. And I actually like this, and the reason why I like this is, I don't know if anybody remembers, but I talked about this several months ago, where I think Cena should actually beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship by turning heel. It's John Cena's last run in the WWE. I think John Cena surprising everybody and cheating to beat Cody Rhodes to become WWE Champion, to become the 17th time World Champion, would be an amazing, amazing, amazing story. And it's his final run in the WWE. This guy is not going to be coming back. Obviously, a Hall of Famer. So I love the idea of, hey, maybe have Seth Rollins beat Gunther at Elimination Chamber or Royal Rumble, maybe, you know, for the title. And then CM Punk could win the Royal Rumble and challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Obviously, it's a little predictable, and maybe people would want somebody else to win the Royal Rumble, but with CM Punk, I think it could be a really cool storyline. And listen, I think for CM Punk to become World Heavyweight Champion would be a big deal, and for him to get that WrestleMania main event, it would be a big deal. And that's what I want to see, man. I want to see this guy. Listen, Punk wins the World Heavyweight Championship. He doesn't need to have the craziest reign, but whoever you want to be the next top star, or like solidify as a top star, you can have them beat Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, you know? And I think that would be really dope. I think it's very interesting to see that WWE has plans for him to be a world champion, but they don't have plans for him to be the one to take it off Gunther, which is an interesting choice. So we'll see what it is. I like Seth Rollins. I'm not really excited about Seth Rollins having the World Heavyweight Championship unless he goes full force with a heel turn. I want to see a different version of Seth if he's going to hold that world title belt, and him beating Gunther by turning heel could actually be a great way to do it. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Angle Show. Let me know what you think down below.